Hey guys, you know how I catch a train home from work these days?
Mm-hmm.
Walking to the train station the other day, I looked up, I don't know why actually, I just looked up to the top balcony of like a little unit that sort of looks down over the train station, and nudist guy I've ever seen, just out on the balcony, just standing stark naked, and to make matters worse, the largest George W. Bush I've seen in my entire life, which has really ruined the walk. But it does remind me, Skinner, that the We Got the Chocolates podcast is actually supported by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code WGTC at manscaped.com. Now, I actually used to have some plantation that probably looked very similar to what that guy was working with. But to be honest, that was before the Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created and just released the new and improved the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer.
Yeah, and it was always so much effort for me to do the same thing, so I'd always just let it grow out. But so easy nowadays with the Lawnmower 3.0, and there's so many benefits, some of which I probably can't explain on the podcast too much, but one of which that I can is the crop preserver that comes with the perfect package that we all got. Yeah. And the crop preserver is a bit of a moisturizer for your balls. And so during the day I used to have to do a bit of reshuffling. It was a bit uncomfortable down there from time to time, but now after using the crop preserver in the morning, you just don't notice it through the day, so it's great.
Skinner, where can people go if we want them to experience the magic that is the Manscaped or the Lawnmower 3.0 as well?
Just to their website, manscaped.com. So yeah, go in there and pick up your little perfect package or whatever you want, and you will be able to get 20% off and free shipping if you use the code WGTC.
That's 20% off, guys, and free shipping with the code WGTC at manscaped.com. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the We Got the Chocolates podcast. I'm Lee. You two suck.
We do suck at that, but I'm Midge.
I'm Sam.
And they speak at the same time on purpose, just to try and stitch each other up regularly. This is episode 79, guys. You've had a few tries at getting that right together, but
still haven't nailed it.
Yeah, no, we're still working on it, but that's fine. How's came in just before we started recording? Just if you're listening at home, try and take you there. I feel like sometimes you tell these stories and they're not as funny when you're retelling them. But to us, he came in and was like, "Geez, I'm going to win my draft league," and I was like, "Oh no, I think Mitch, you were like." Oh, why? What makes you say that? He's like, I got the best team. Yeah, that tends to help, I guess.
Confidence is key. I probably don't have the best team, but just stand by my players.
Yeah, you can't get all of the best picks. That's the point of the draft.
His first pick was like number 8 or something. Daly Cherry Evans first, didn't he?
I'm mates with all the NRL players now. I got the inside word. You know?
Okay. Get a couple of them on the podcast. That'd be handy. Now, Skin, the other piece of news is that we had some complaints about people not being able to hear you due to your sort of relaxed nature and the fact that you lean back in your seat too much, too far away from your mic. Just a fist away from your mic is what we're actually looking for. So we took the back of your chair off.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, that was great. Come into the podcast tonight and all of a sudden my posture's under a bit of pressure.
Looks so uncomfortable.
It looks horrible.
Yeah, it feels horrible.
Well, Skin, you've only got yourself to blame. We got one complaint out of 900 listeners. Okay, and that was enough to take the back of your chair off.
Right, perfect.
That's right. But Haz, I do think before we get right into the episode, I believe that you've actually got something for us, don't you?
Well, I did notice that it was my turn to do joke of the day, but I decided to not do a joke today. I decided to use this time to give a shout out to my girlfriend Emily, who I don't mention nearly enough. She's probably listening about 3 weeks late because she's behind the podcast times. But I wanted to thank her because she treats me like a god. So what I mean is she ignores my existence and only talks to me when she needs something. So thanks, Emily.
And that's joke of the day.
Well played, Az.
What about Lethal on the buttons over here? Anything?
I mean, yeah, okay.
It's hard to get some credit around here, honestly.
It got a bit loud. It made it hard to hear the joke.
Well, if you would sit further forward on your chair, we'd hear you all the time.
Yeah, that would fix it.
Yeah,
jeez, right. Lower back sore. Anyways, moving on, shall we? I wanted to bring your attention to something. Well, I mean, I assume your attention's already been brought to it. It's been a pretty hot topic over the last few days. The not so big test match between England and India.
It was the opposite of big. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it was big in terms of the lead up.
Yeah.
Not certainly long duration.
Yeah, correct.
Mate, what was your story?
My story was my brother's wedding. I have had a bad knee problem before in the past and had a few quiet beverages. MC Hammer came on and I decided it was going to be great to get nude and do the MC Hammer.
This is at the wedding.
Once I got to one side, my knees gave out, ACL gone, laying on the floor.
No.
Nude.
So nude, and this is before obviously your lovely sponsor came on board. So I wasn't looking real good with myself, and had a very low libido level at that stage too. So yeah, I wasn't really the family favourite for much longer after that. Hello.
Hey, Cooper, this is Sam from the We Got the Chocolates podcast. I'm here with Lee and Mitch. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Very good, very good. Now, we're talking
Right.
about weird injuries that you've had, and you wrote in on our Instagram story and had a pretty interesting one. Can you tell us what that was?
Yeah, so I was a young fella, about 4 or 5, and I had a colouring in pencil in my mouth, and I was running down the hallway, and my small legs must have been too quick for me because I tripped over, face planted, and ended up with that pencil lodged down my throat.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Was this at school or was it at home or what?
No, at home. So I hadn't started school yet. I was young.
Oh, right, yeah.
Cooper, I'm not sure if this matters much, but is this pointy end into your mouth or pointy end away?
It must have been pointy end away because I was lucky it didn't actually cut the throat. It was just lodged down there, stuck down there.
Okay.
Now, you probably don't remember too much. Like most people don't remember much from when they're 4 or 5, but it might be something you actually do remember a bit more because it was quite painful, I reckon.
Memory.
Yeah, it was quite the experience actually.
Yeah, right.
Probably one of my worst injuries.
Yeah, far out.
Dear me.
How are the vocal cords now? Can you burst out it singing or does it ruin your
Have you
voice?
got Darren Lockyer voice.
I don't have the X factor, but it hasn't really affected the vocal cord.
This could be a very ambitious one here, Cooper, but have you ever been described as a colourful character since?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that.
See, I'm swapping Cooper for you.
Did you mention what colour it was? Did he keep the pencil? Or?
From memory, it was red. Red pencil.
That makes sense.
That was my favourite colour as a young fella.
That's one of the greats. This is an unbelievable
Yeah,
story.
absolutely.
I love it.
Reminds me of that scene in that Batman movie where Heath Ledger slams the bloke's head on a pencil. That's not nice.
Skin.
Does anyone remember that?
Yeah, well, I remember it, but I'm in family podcast.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. No worries at all. That was pretty violent, that. It's not quite the same thing.
It's a similar injury. It's just, not as deliberate.
No, and I think that guy died.
Oh.
Slightly different. But
Yeah. All right.
anyway, yeah, great comparison.
Okay.
I'd be so scared of putting anything in my mouth after that I wasn't going to actually eat.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I don't really run around the house with pencils in the mouth anymore.
Okay, good
Try
idea.
to
That would be weird.
try to avoid that.
Yeah, no, I'm pleased you learnt your lesson there. It's very good, very switched on. That would have been quite concerning if you're like, yeah, still do it, boys. Hasn't happened again.
So you'd have to tell us what is the weirdest sporting injury you've suffered?
It was actually in the UK. It was my first season abroad. We played 3 practice matches and we were on a massive high. We had some big wins and it was the Thursday night training session before the first proper game of the season. And they got me over to open the bowling and bat 3. So I was very pumped and I was just warming up in the nets before training and one of the boys was down at the other end just picking up the ball from me and he underarmed it back to me. And I went to catch it with one hand and got the ball in the end of the index finger, which shattered my knuckle into about 9 different pieces. So then I had a X-ray on Friday and surgery on the Monday, and then a 14-week stint on the sidelines. So yeah, thanks for getting me over, boys.
Oh my goodness!
What was your knuckle made of? Was it glass or something? What's going on?
I don't know.
Bit of
Underarm
calcium in the
throw,
diet.
yeah, I know. I thought it was because it was cold because it was early season over there, but yeah, no.
Okay,
Well, it's come to my attention mainly because I cut up Queensland cricket videos that Harry has seen the low bat raise, Hazlitt-inspired low bat raise, and he's actually gone entirely different, like the direct opposite. He's gone the ultra high bat raise for a 50 that I saw him make the other day. He made 150 actually, so he probably raised his bat a few times, but certainly the one that I saw was very high. Harry, is there any truth to that?
Yeah, it was very high. And I think, as you pointed out, it made some uncanny resemblances to some unfortunate, historic. It didn't look good on the replay. But yeah, no, it is true. It is true.
Just be careful how you're holding the bat. I don't want you to like dislocate a finger holding it too far out there. With your fingers out there.
It's just gonna break.
Goaty's sort of blown up a few times, has well. You've been away about the lackluster quality of a few of the jingles. So obviously our producer Dave, he's pretty keen to do a bit of an upgrade, continue to upgrade some of the jingles. Okay. And we sort of came up with an idea today. So obviously skin stats we use a lot. So that's one thing that needs to be upgraded, with all due respect to our sister Bryony and my own amazing vocals that have got us through for the initial part of our careers. We need to get some spark into it.
Okay.
Okay. So the good news is I found the one that I think that you need to use, right, for your particular segment.
I'm a Scatman.
So obviously it goes without saying that we are changing it to I'm a stat man.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I reckon I can do that bit.
Right. Well, what was the other part that confused you?
Yeah. Most of every other part, really. Yeah.
Oh, right. But you're a rapper.
Yeah, I'm not convinced
You can do rap
I'm
gods.
not convinced there are lyrics there to follow.
No, well, I mean, by definition, scatting is genuinely not lyrics. It just sounds.
Right.
So that would be the reason.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll do a quick record, Skin. So I'll just play it. Well, you want one more, do you?
Yeah, run it by me one more time.
Okay, here we go. It sounds like this.
I'm a Scatman.
I think featuring dance moves will make it far easier for you as well.
That's
If
going
you
to help
see that,
one
if you
bit.
just watch that on the iPad in front of you.
Shucks.
All right, Skin. Well, now the good news is you're going to have him as the backing vocalist, but it is going to be a little bit quieter because I need you to take the lead here.
Okay, all right.
And remember to change the lyric to stat man, otherwise the whole thing's wasted.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, are you ready?
Not really.
Okay, count him in. Get yourself involved.
And a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I'm a Scatman.
Holy Moses.
I'm so happy that I wasn't the stat man at the start of the podcast.
I think you've nailed it.
I don't think I've nailed it, and I don't think Cody's going to be stoked about the new jingle.
I think you've nailed it first time. That'll polish up really nicely. And I'll tell you what we are going to be stuck with. This is now probably the number one man in AFL commentaries.
And now Roughhead. That was out of bounds. That was out of bounds. That was out of bounds. That was out of bounds as Shields goals. Boy, oh boy. Big non-decision there, I reckon, Das.
There you go, Haz. Do you reckon that was out of bounds?
It sounds like I know what team he's got his money on, but
That'll be what we've got to look forward to. That is Brian Taylor for
I don't
season
mind a bit of
2021.
BT.
I actually love him. But it's like, he's such an idiot. And